Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am MaryAnne, and you're watching MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence here. Welcome to your Sun Sign Love Connection readings. Today, the featured sun sign is going to be that of Scorpio. And for those that are new, welcome to my channel. I pick two sun signs every day. One is the featured as I go around my astrology wheel for the first half of the month readings, which we're doing. Today's May 8th, 2021. And then I do a second half of the month reading as well. But I pick a featured sign where the reading is predominantly focused on. And then the first connection, or highlighted connection, I call it, is what Spirit wants you to be aware of for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm just the messenger, right? I'm the conduit for Spirit. So I picked this right in front of you. It's always completely spontaneous. I never know what it's going to be. Sometimes there's repeats and people, may say, well, MaryAnne, you just did that, but I'm not doing it. I'm just, if there's too many of the same, of course I won't. But this month I've already noticed there's some definite patterns and parallels that Spirit wants the signs to know about. So for you, beautiful Scorpio, let's pick yours right away. And you have the beautiful sign of Sagittarius, which is really, really remarkably beautiful and very understandable. As I explain a little bit about astrology aspects today, I couldn't think of the word. I like to include that in my readings because it's very, very pertinent and very important as far as the energies go. And it just really mixes well with Tarot, because Tarot has a lot of symbols and messages that definitely coincide with astrology. It's all one, it's that mystical aspect of life that's ever present and always helping and moving us forward. And it's really beautiful. So Scorpio, you are the incredible, deeply passionate, intensely motivated and transformational sign of the zodiac. You are the water element. And of all the water elements, I always say Scorpio is probably the most intense. Your intentions, your devotion, your passions run very, very deep. And as water does, right? Water can go in all places, and it can go deep into us, and it can illuminate us and bring out incredible creativity in all of us. And the reality is your ruling planet is Pluto, and that's the most intense planet of transformation. So that's something you've just been aware of since, you came into this beautiful body, and your spirit, vacated this vehicle for you. It is, well, it's interesting because actually Pluto went into retrograde. So anytime the planets go into retrograde, like we're about to have a Mercury retrograde at the end of the month, we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. When they go into retrograde, it's a time for review, re-evaluating, reminding ourselves, relaxing, retreating, reinventing, all the re's. So it's like a reset, a reignition. Is that a word? A reigniting of our goals and our inspiration and our ideas, okay? That we've already put forward, but we're just really kind of now reviewing before we take any further initiative in whatever direction it is. And that's just the kind of really important thing for you right now with your ruling planet being Pluto. Now that happens every year, and it's going to be through October, I believe, October 3rd or something of 2021. So that transformational, deep, Pluto's intense in the sense that Pluto really, really hits home when it comes to being absolutely true. Sometimes really hard on ourselves, too much. There has to be that balance. And recognizing that, yes, there are things that we're doing that maybe are habits or vices, circumstances, people that we invite into our realm and our energy that aren't necessarily right. These are the times that we can sit with it and say, okay, I haven't been feeling that well. My entire physicality hasn't been feeling that well because I'm bringing in this energy. It's not working for me. I've got to be truthful about it. I've got to be honest, even though sometimes it's okay. That's not good enough. It has to be a continuum. It has to be something that keeps me growing and keeps me elevating and ascending as the person that I am in this body, you know, and my spirit. So hopefully that makes sense, but there's a lot of that that's going to be happening. It's a softer kind of, when Pluto's stationed forward and moving forward, it's more intense, you know. It's like being a little more harder on themselves than we need to. This way it's just softening up a little bit. It's just being kinder, but also really taking the time to reevaluate and figure out our circumstances and where we want to go next, basically. So that works really well with you. You are a fixed sign, so there's great determination in anything you do. I have never met a Scorpio who didn't put their mind on something and did not accomplish it. And that's the honest truth. And I've known a lot of Scorpios. They seem to appear in my life all the time, perhaps with the career paths that I've taken, as in, you know, mysterious things which they love. I mean, some of my favorite astrologists and spiritual leaders have been Scorpio. They love digging into the sides of life that are, you know, the depths of life that are not always talked about, maybe taboo, but are very, very present, right? And the actual reality, the death card represents the sign of Scorpio, and that makes a lot of sense because they are very tuned into the reality and the cycles of life and death and everything, you know, from a plant to an animal to anything and everyone, knowing that we will eventually move on into another place, energy, however you want to think about it, you know. What was I going to say? That has a lot to do with prior lives, you know, reincarnation. 8th house is what represents Scorpio. That's other people, inheritance, life, death. Yeah, just the mysteries of life, you know, the sensuality, the sexuality. Yes, Scorpio is known as one of the sexual signs. Why? Because they are all about feeling. The water signs are very in tune with their feelings, with the energies. And let's face it, intimacy, sexuality is very, very much about feel and what feels right. Though I will say that a lot of Scorpios are very, very interested in one relationship and holding on to that and possessing that with everything they are for as long as they can. They're not interested in a bunch of, you know, affairs and things like that. Now, I may have a certain percentage of you watching saying, that's not true. And of course it has to do with many factors. But on the whole, there is not a lot of promiscuity with Scorpios. They're very, very loyal. And, you know, sure, they may have a certain amount of relationships in a lifetime, but that's not really what they're aiming for. And they're pretty selective, I will say that. Therefore, they end up with probably less relationships than a lot of people that I've certainly known and studied about. There's deep, true love. They love definitely higher learning. They're very keen and intent on the human psyche in general. They can usually see and feel what a person's thinking and feeling, sometimes before that person knows it. The mystery of them is this kind of a darker energy that, you know, you think you know a Scorpio a lot of times. You know, you think, oh, yeah, so-and-so. Trust me, you do not. Those waters run so deep, there's a lot you'll probably never know. And there's a lot that are forthcoming. It depends. It depends on many things and what other planets are in their chart. But just know that that might have a lot to do with that mystery that tends to surround many Scorpios. It's an alluring, attractive, you know, magnetic kind of, I want to know this person more. I want to know him. And anyway, it's a gorgeous thing. I can go on and on and on. But yeah, so you have this beautiful highlight connection today, which is that of Sagittarius, and that is, well, it's right next to you on the astrology wheel. Sagittarius is the fire sign. Now, it just so happens, you know, fire is fire. It's intense. It's powerful. It's bright. It's spirited. It's motivated. it burns quickly and it burns out just as quickly. And you have a little bit of an understanding of that. The historically known ruler and for Scorpio was that of Mars, and that's one of the most intense planets out there, the hottest and the most fervent and just, warrior kind of, let's get it done, and I will argue and I will fight till the bitter end until things are right and worked out, and whatever words I can possibly express for the energy that comes from Mars. It is intense, right? It's not the ruling planet of Sagittarius, but it was of yours. So there's that fiery part of you, which kind of boils your water, if you will. But Sagittarius is a fire sign. And I'm sorry, I'm chumbling all over my words today. I think it's going to be happening a little more as we approach the Mercury retrograde. I'll talk a little slower. Sagittarius, however, is one of the most optimistic fire signs. Very positive, ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the benevolent planet of gifts and luck and opportunity. It expands everything it touches. And this is what Sagittarians have grown up with. I mean, just being at the right place at the right time, all the serendipitous kind of experiences, that you can think of. They love adventure. They're mutable. They like to travel and to move and to see new things and to study. They're very much about higher learning. They love education. They love teaching. And they are just so much fun, very independent. I like this a lot. It's a very kind of unusual setup because there's such an attraction here with that fire and water, and the energies that come from that. And there's so much differences, but the admiration and the honest, earnest aspect of both of you is what I think really seals the deal for you. Because, Sagittarius, what you see is what you get. There's very little understanding in their mind of being extra or, fake, if you will. I mean, sometimes they just come right out and they don't really have the best or the most diplomatic way of saying things, but it's not because they're mean. They're just real. They just don't stop to think of, how do I sugarcoat this kind of thing? Well, that's similar to you, Scorpio. So I think in a lot of ways you appreciate fundamentally that aspect because let's cut through stuff, right? Let's get through the BS, get to the reality, let's get to truth, and let's change and transform things that are not like that. Actually, to be honest with you, Scorpio, you won't waste your time on people that will not, help you or maybe bring something to the table, quite frankly. That's as simple as I can put it. And that's okay. I can appreciate that too. Sagittarius are probably more easygoing. They accept a lot of things on a surface level for the most part, but they too have, a good group of core friends or, relationships that they will have for a lifetime because they too are loyal and very caring and they'll do anything they'll give you the shirt off their back as long as they're around and they don't have too many things happening at once because they're very active and they travel and they love life in general. I don't know. I think they're a good influence on you, and I think you know that. And I think when it comes to relationships, it can be fun. And even though you like to maybe be more possessive, Scorpio, in your relationships, you allow freedom because you trust and you can trust a Sagittarius if they tell you something. And if it's not, that's a nature versus nurture. It's not the genuine known personality traits. So that's where I base it on. And always the positive because, we're always going to have times that we don't show our best light. I'm going to read to your 3 major categories, though. To move on a little bit, I have to leave and go on to a massage client that I have, but I wanted to get this message out for you for sure. And so the first category is always going to be the overall energy that brought you to this reading. And I appreciate you being here, like I said, a lot. Now, I always recommend that you take the beginning of the month readings and then you come back for the middle of the month and see how it's progressed. If there's similarities, what's changing. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of changes that are going to happen this month and onward for the next couple months throughout summer. Why? Because we have the new moon in Taurus, which is always a chance to initiate, start things new, you know, put out those feelers, those resumes, those intentions, write them down, you know. It's a beautiful energy for starts. It always is, but I love the Taurus energy for you because earth and water work extremely well together, but also because we're in Taurus season. Happy birthday, all Tauruses. And it is about planting and grounding whatever wonderful idea, whatever initiative you have, whatever relationship that might be starting or has been a part of your life, regardless of what type of love connection it is, and making it more stable, more secure, you know, a lasting kind of relationship, once again, on all levels, which is really beautiful. And that doesn't happen during a lot of other seasons. In fact, we'll be entering into Gemini season on the 20th. So, you know, that's air, that's mine, that's mutable, that's all over, that's Mercury ruled. So it's just like constantly thinking and changing and developing and expressing and information, a lot of communication, a whole different energy. And then, interestingly enough, your highlighted connection of Sagittarius, the first eclipse will happen on the 26th of May in Sagittarius. So something amazing can come, just what seems like out of the blue, in a majorly positive way that's going to influence your life and possibly change it in ways you never imagined. And I'm serious about that. That's happened so many times in my studies and my ability to read, do readings, and talk with my clients. It's happened to me, certainly. But I like it a lot. It's a positive one. And so, yeah, something really important having to do with Sagittarius with you. So it's interesting, like I said, that spirit picked up, but not really, because that makes perfect sense. So the first category is the overall energy for the beautiful connections of Scorpio and Sagittarius. And you have the Hermit. I like this so much. We're in Taurus season. The Hermit is a representative of the sign of Virgo, fellow earth sign. And this is your higher power. This is your strongest intuition, you know, gifts of, I don't know, manifestation and ability to listen to your gut and getting the messages, getting information, getting guidance, somebody, some mentor, some shaman, some spiritual person, some spiritual awakening can happen. And it's in the silence. It could be a sign of retreat, which is perfect for, like I said, as we're approaching the shadow and then the actual Mercury retrograde. It's a time to do that, you know. Everything that you've built up to this point can really get to a place where you're thinking about it and intently knowing that it's time. First of all, it's all about timing, and then just relaxing into it, allowing it, you know. And I can see that with you really strongly, Scorpio. I think you do that anyway. And there's a real common denominator between the earth and being grounded and practical and having things to do with the material world, and the water that's able to kind of spread and be fluid and kind of allow and create and be extremely sensitive to what's happening and what your feelings are and what your surroundings are. So that's really beautiful. It could also mean that something specifically happening that you've indicated or you've asked for, or your intentions have been put out for the new moon, could start to really, really be seen by September, when it becomes late August through September, Virgo season, as well as the Sagittarius as a couple, you know, really, because sometimes things are great and you've got to think about them and imagine them and put them into action, but it takes time, right? So you're all right with that. You understand that. You know that internally. But it's beautiful. It's wisdom within, and there's the light, the little lamp post, or the little, I can't even think of what it's called, but it's a star in there. It's wishing and knowing. You have everything it takes, and the power and the intuition and the ability to manifest, you know, and knowing that, just fully believing in that, immersing yourself in that truth. That's really wonderful. And you will be guided. You will always be guided as well. So don't feel like you, even though it's a very much a loner card, it seems, that's okay. You know, and I don't know many Scorpios that have a problem with being alone either. There's those times that they absolutely need. That's that sensitivity that has to be, you know, dealt with on your own a lot of times. The second category is the category of possible blessings or obstacles. You have the King of Pentacles. So there's Taurus again. There's the Pentacle sign. There's the Earth. There's Virgo. There's Capricorn. The King is the most mature, the most abundant, you know, wealth-oriented, worked hard, worked very hard for a long time to achieve this and has succeeded, you know, and that's a beautiful energy to be dealing with, especially during the Taurus season. I mean, we have the beautiful you know, slower moving but very powerful planet of Uranus, not only as the ruling planet of Aquarius, which is a predominant energy this whole year. Jupiter's in Aquarius, Saturn's in Aquarius. Those are two powerful planets that make huge differences in our lives. Very contradictory. One, Jupiter being expansive and freedom and, you know, amazing opportunities, no limits, you know, no boundaries. And then Saturn, which is so constrictive and so much of a taskmaster, they call it, to keep us on our, you know, the straight and narrow, making sure that we're focused and we're doing exactly what we need to do step by step. In the process of doing that, wonderful things at the end of this road you're on, or this new idea or this new relationship, if you put that time and effort and you kind of buckle your belt a bit in some regard, it will come back tenfold, which is then, of course, the King of Pentacles. So you're definitely on the right track, and you've got two Earth element cards that are just letting me know that it takes time, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, which of course you have, Scorpio. It takes that amount of luck that comes with perfect timing and putting all this together, right? Belief and effort and trust and everything, and that beautiful Sagittarian highlighted, you know, Jupiterian energy around you for the positivity and the, you know, optimistic way of looking at things that'll definitely color it in beautiful ways. Well, the final card is always the card of finances, and that is exactly important right now as far as certainly the coins, but it's important in life in general. We all need it to live. We're in a 3D world, you know, and it means different things to different people. But it's also what we consider a form of wealth, right? It doesn't have to be money. So the financial card can also be your interpretation of wealth and what it means to you and the value, which is a very big indicator of who Scorpio is anyway. They understand this very, very deeply, that Plutarian, you know, energy of what is the best for me? How can I release things that aren't? And let's get serious about this. What am I not doing to better myself? And all of those variables that I mentioned earlier. You have the major arcana of the Emperor, and that's Aries, and that's fire. And that happens to be what the moon went into today around, I don't know, what was it, 8:30 this morning? That's power. That is masculine energy. That is just knowing that you can take charge. You are in charge. You always are in charge of your life, right? But feeling really confident about it. You've got the King there. You've got your inner guide. And somehow some institution can be very much a part of this Aries, you know, sign that's about, you know, authority, the masculine, you know, the authoritarian kind of energy that's coming through. Very prevalent and very important for today's moon. That can bring you in the right direction, that can have you speaking and connecting with the right people at long last, right? And not fooling around. You're not going to stop until you get the right information. And it will be there for you, but you do have to make that effort. You have to come up and speak out and ask the right questions and write down the right information and it will be very, very successful for you financially. You know, there's just ways to do things, you know. But that feels really beautiful, and it feels like you have that empowerment in you, knowing, because you have the wisdom within you at all times, to do what it is you need to do and create exactly what it is you want. It's a beautiful feeling. It's something we have control over, in other words. And I absolutely love this reading. How powerful is that? I'm going to put that beautiful rune to kind of just accent and culminate the reading. And the one rune I always like to put on the second category, which is the possible blessings or obstacles. And for you, your rune today, and I'll read from the book and explain to you a little more, because I haven't memorized it yet, but I plan on it, is R. It looks very clearly like an R. It's a beautiful amethyst that wards away, you know, toxic energy and heals and protects you. I put that on that second beautiful category of possible blessings or obstacles, and you have that beautiful, powerful, earth-grounded, stable feeling of the King of Pentacles. And so the R is, righto. Number 5 changes. 5th month, number 5 year. So 5 is very, very important to you for some reason. And Rado inside, I will let you know exactly what it says. It has words that depict what the main emphasis of this beautiful oracle rune is. It's so strong and so full of wisdom, and they've been around for centuries. This is a period between August 29th and September 12th. There you have that earth energy again of Virgo. Predominance of earth, predominance of cultivating and working hard and planting those seeds that you know will absolutely bring a harvest and great amounts of wealth and abundance in so many different ways. Okay, this is too many times. And you've got the Virgo card first and foremost with the Hermit, knowing the right time, knowing the right season. And apparently it is around this fall time, you know, not quite fall, but very close to it, end of summer. So let me read to you the words. Enthusiasm, undertaking, movement, travel. There's that Sagittarius highlight that's going to bring you places and show you things and people and circumstances that will help you greatly. Removal, help, cooperation, regression, and separation from those who blame errors and decisions on others. Get away from that, boy. That you definitely don't want that around, and you won't tolerate that anyway. Why should you? Not if you're doing the transformation to be the better person and to become and grow into the best person you can be. That's a beautiful ending, and I love it because it is synchronistic with the time frame. And yeah, just love and expression of, you know, wisdom brought to you is what that's about. So then we go on to your oracle, and I'm going to make this a little quicker because I'm almost out of here. But if you have not subscribed and you like what you're hearing and you're resonating, please do subscribe. It means a great deal. It's super, super supportive. It doesn't take long. Liking, subscribing, sharing, all of the above is really important. And YouTube really likes to see that too, so I can continue to do the content. And I can always comment, and you can comment, and we can always exchange, you know, information or anything you want to ever ask me. I'd love to, you know, connect with you in that way. This is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Your beautiful message, all Scorpios. I have to reshuffle again because apparently that was from yesterday. I have to make sure that I do this just right for you, because these messages are very, very important. And they are always exactly in line with the readings from what I believe and what I've been noticing. Unless it comes up again. Your special, special oracle message is the Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help. It's number 12, which is 1 + 2, which equals 3. 3 is always about mastering. It's about help. It's about, working with others. It's about growth. It's a beautiful number. It's very, very spiritual and angelic. Look at this beautiful illustration. Knowing the ground, how the ground has been so incredibly healing and so important for us to be substantially fed and taken care of, and foundationally keeping us stable, secure. It's just amazing how the earth is very prominent in your reading. And it's just known that the indigenous people from years and from the beginning of time have always had that knowing and spiritual connection, that they have taught us so many things, and I'm really inspired by all of that. But your special message for the Eagle King is number 12, and that is the Eagle King is a sign that your highest destiny is within reach. Your highest destiny. You're on the right path now, even if you can't see where you're going. The Eagle King, soars high above the mountains and valleys of life and is able to see the big picture when you seem to be lost in a bit of fog. He makes a formidable ally as he takes your prayers up toward the sun and releases them to the divine. There will be an answer for the highest good of all. It's a fortunate omen when the Eagle King decides to be your ally. I love it. I'm feeling that. I feel a strength like none, and very much of a masculine energy that just, it won't stop. It's very strong. It's a warrior kind of energy. We all have that. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Feeling very, very empowered, trusting in the natural aspects of life, feeling grounded, feeling present is super important right now for you. And last but not least, a couple more of my little cards, the Motivational Manifesto cards, which I absolutely love. It's a simple phrase, expression, or something dedicated just for you for the first half of the month and all of your connections, not just the highlighted now. It's for every single sign so that everyone has a message from my readings. So for you, beautiful Scorpio, and all of your relationship, with love's transcendent power, we can be reborn and redirected. There's the re's coming up. When we open to love, life itself can feel newer, more alive, more magical, and more meaningful. Ooh, gosh. And you know about that. You know how deeply you love. But that is the incredible power that love has to heal and to just change things and move mountains. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, powerful energy. I don't ever remember getting that, but I absolutely love that for you. So there's something very strong, and maybe just you want to ground that energy you have for the love or that compassion you have for somebody that maybe you haven't had in a long time, or maybe you're ready to have, and you're ready to just believe and to trust in it, and to just allow that open heart chakra to be vulnerable, to lead the way. So I'll finish with your beautiful super manifestational deck, super attractor manifestational deck. This is where you can feel the life that you want into existence. We really, truly can, as long as it feels good, because if you put out good, you're going to get back good. Like attracts like. I can do less and attract more. That is such a beautiful, beautiful card. It's such a simple wording and expression of the reality of law of attraction. It's not all about doing. It is absolutely about being, and it's about bringing it in, and there's that new moon for the Taurus new moon next week. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very powerful one in connection with these eclipses that make the changes that happen that are just, can be phenomenal. So I really love this for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope you're having a wonderful day whenever you get to see this. It depends on how long it takes to upload, but I enjoy being here with you. Come on back for your mid-month readings. Take expressly good care of you and those that you love. Until next time, thank you. Bye for now.